The concept of greatness is complex and open to multiple interpretations. Some people define greatness as extraordinary accomplishments in a particular sector, like leadership, science, or the arts. Others may interpret it to include traits like honesty, compassion, and a beneficial social influence. In the end, greatness is a personal concept that frequently crosses traditional lines and motivates others to pursue their own unique potential. Immersion in the lives, works, and ideologies of people who have attained greatness in their respective disciplines is necessary for studying the greats. Through an analysis of their experiences, triumphs, setbacks, and the guiding concepts that shape their behavior, we can acquire significant knowledge and motivation for our personal goals. Inspiration can be found in the lives of the greats. Their experiences serve as a reminder that remarkable things are possible for us and that greatness frequently results from tenacity, fortitude, and an unflinching dedication to one's goals. By studying the greats, we can benefit from their insight, bravery, and original thought processes and use their models as a source of inspiration and direction. We can learn from the failures as well as the accomplishments of the greats by studying them. On their journeys, great people have encountered difficulties, roadblocks, and periods of uncertainty. We may learn a lot from their experiences navigating obstacles and overcoming misfortune, and applying those lessons to our own quest for excellence. We can learn about resilience, flexibility, and the value of tenacity in the face of difficulty by looking closely at their mistakes. Studying the greats can spur introspection and personal development. Their achievements and the traits they possessed can motivate us to evaluate our own advantages, disadvantages, and potential growth areas. We can incorporate ideals, concepts, and practices that they embodied into our own journeys of self-discovery and progress by thinking back on their life. Throughout history, exceptional individuals have been distinguished by their distinct viewpoints, creativity, and genuineness. We are reminded of the value of valuing our uniqueness and remaining loyal to ourselves by looking at their life. The greats serve as a reminder that, despite social pressures and expectations, true greatness frequently arises when we have the guts to be true to ourselves, follow our passions, and forge our own paths. Studying the greats encourages us to improve society and pay it forward in addition to fostering personal development. Great people frequently leave behind enduring legacies that go beyond their own accomplishments. We can develop a sense of responsibility and a desire to have a positive influence on the world and leave our own special mark for future generations by taking inspiration from their example. American novelist, educator, and political activist Helen Keller, 1880–1968, rose to prominence as a symbol of tenacity and willpower. A medical condition caused Keller to lose her hearing and vision at the age of 19 months. She surpassed expectations and learned to communicate despite having severe difficulties thanks to the help of her committed instructor, Anne Sullivan. After completing college, Keller went on to become a well-known champion for the rights of those with disabilities. Her achievements and persistent attitude serve as an inspiration to people facing adversity all throughout the world. The founder of the Indian independence campaign against British rule, Mahatma Gandhi, 1869–1948, is renowned for his nonviolent resistance theory. Gandhi experienced racism, prejudice, and social inequalities as a child growing up in a middle-class household in colonial India. His frequent nonviolent demonstrations and campaigns of civil disobedience, motivated by a spirit of justice and equality, finally resulted in India's independence in 1947. The world will never be the same because of Gandhi's unrelenting dedication to nonviolence and his capacity to inspire millions of people with his message of love and truth. Polish-born physicist and chemist Marie Curie, 1867–1934, broke down boundaries between genders in science and made significant advances in the study of radioactivity. Curie became the first woman to get the Nobel Prize and the first individual to receive the prize in two distinct scientific domains in spite of discrimination and the lack of chances available to women in academia. Her findings transformed our knowledge of radiation and set the stage for improvements in medical diagnosis and care. The revolutionary and political figure from South Africa who opposed apartheid, Nelson Mandela, 1918–2013, is well known for his steadfast dedication to justice, equality, and healing. Mandela became a symbol of forgiveness and optimism after serving 27 years in prison for his anti-apartheid work. Following his release, he oversaw South Africa's democratic transition and was elected as the nation's first black president. Mandela is a living example of the strength of forgiveness, resiliency, and the quest of justice. His leadership and capacity to bring a divided people together are inspiring. Known as the mother of the civil rights movement, Rosa Parks, 1913–2005, was a key figure in the struggle against racial segregation in the U.S. When Parks in Montgomery, Alabama, refused to give up her seat on a segregated bus in 1955, it set off a citywide bus boycott that lasted more than a year. The Montgomery bus boycott that followed her act of resistance served as a spark for the civil rights movement. Numerous others were inspired to fight for racial equality by Parks' bravery and tenacity. German pianist and composer Ludwig van Beethoven, 1770–1827, is regarded as one of the most important individuals in the development of Western classical music. Beethoven wrote some of the most renowned and innovative symphonies, concertos, and sonatas of all time despite suffering many obstacles, including a growing hearing loss that ultimately rendered him entirely deaf. His brilliance and tenacity are demonstrated by his ability to overcome his physical constraints and produce magnificent music that nevertheless has an impact on audiences. These historical individuals serve as excellent examples of the strength of willpower, resiliency, and the capacity to rise above difficult situations in order to achieve greatness. Their experiences serve as a reminder that our circumstances do not determine who we are, and that we can overcome any challenge in our quest for greatness if we embrace courage, tenacity, and a firm trust in our own skills. On February 11, 1847, Thomas Alva Edison was born in Milan, Ohio, in the United States. He showed an early interest in science and technology. But because of his difficulties in conventional education and what is now known as attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, his official education was short-lived. Despite these obstacles, Edison continued to advance because of his unquenchable curiosity and unwavering will to study. Edison possessed an astounding 1,093 patents, spanning a broad spectrum of technologies and innovations that revolutionized numerous sectors and molded the contemporary world. The motion picture camera, the phonograph, and the useful electric light bulb are a few of his most famous inventions. Edison transformed communication, entertainment, and how we light our surroundings with his creations. The invention of the electric light bulb is primarily attributed to Edison. Even though he did not create the idea of electric lighting, he significantly improved on previous concepts and created a workable, profitable variant. After conducting innumerable trials and working non-stop, Edison and his colleagues figured out the ideal blend of components and methods to produce an inexpensive, long-lasting incandescent light bulb. This innovation fundamentally changed society by altering the way we work, live, and see the world. Success for Edison did not come easily. One of his most well-known quotes is, "Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration." Numerous mistakes and disappointments dogged his path, but he saw them as chances to grow and learn. Edison's ability to surpass difficulties and achieve success was largely attributed to his relentless work ethic and constant resolve to find solutions to challenges. In Menlo Park, New Jersey, Edison opened the first industrial research laboratory in history in 1876. This lab developed into a center for innovation, drawing bright scientists and inventors together to work together on a range of initiatives. A monument to Edison's faith in collaboration, experimentation, and the potential of group genius was the Menlo Park Laboratory. It contributed to the quick development of technology in the late 19th and early 20th century and served as a model for other research and development centers. It is impossible to overestimate Thomas Edison's influence on history. His creations raised the standard of living for countless people and transformed a number of sectors. In addition to his technical accomplishments, Edison's innovative spirit and dedication to entrepreneurship established the groundwork for contemporary research and development procedures. Inventors, business owners. And everyone aspiring to surpass boundaries and leave a lasting impression on the world are still motivated by his legacy. Aspiring inventors and those looking to push boundaries can learn a lot from Thomas Edison's life and contributions. His narrative highlights the value of tenacity, fortitude, and a growth mentality. Great successes are frequently the result of a mix of hard labor, steadfast dedication, and a willingness to push boundaries. Edison's ability to embrace failure as a chance for learning and his unflinching trust in the power of human creativity serve as compelling reminders of this. Great people have a growth mentality, which is the underlying conviction that difficulties are not insurmountable roadblocks but rather opportunities for one's own and one's career's advancement. They see obstacles as chances to grow, develop, and stretch the bounds of what is thought to be feasible. Setbacks don't deter them, instead, they keep trying new things and growing stronger and more flexible. Great people aggressively look for answers rather than moping and concentrating on the bad parts of a situation. They take on difficulties with a problem-solving mentality, looking at the issue from several perspectives and considering original solutions. They stand out for their capacity for critical thought, root cause analysis, and the development of winning plans. Instead of being paralyzed by challenges, they view them as chances for growth and as riddles to be solved. Outstanding people are aware that improvement and growth frequently come from stepping outside of their comfort zones. They voluntarily embrace suffering and venture into the unknown. They understand that reaching new heights and venturing into uncharted regions are necessary for achieving true greatness. They gain resilience, adaptability, and the capacity to flourish in demanding situations by learning to embrace discomfort. An essential component of any path to achievement is failure. Great people embrace failure as a good learning opportunity rather than running from it. They realize that failing shows them where they need to grow, gives them new perspectives, and eventually helps them advance. Instead of wallowing in their errors, they examine them, draw conclusions, and apply those conclusions to guide their future behavior. They can improve their strategies, get stronger, and eventually succeed more because they can learn from their mistakes. Great people never give up on their beliefs in the face of difficulty. They know that obstacles pass and that having a positive outlook will help them be more resilient and creative. They understand that whining and negativity sap motivation and impede growth. By keeping an optimistic mindset and emphasizing the good sides of a situation, they motivate others and foster an atmosphere that encourages creativity and problem-solving. Outstanding people not only conquer difficulties on their own, but they also motivate others to do the same. They set an example for others by being resilient, persistent, and solution-focused in both their behavior and attitude. Their capacity to set a positive example and inspire others to take on obstacles promotes an innovative and growth-oriented culture. Outstanding people leave a lasting impression on the world because they rise to obstacles rather than complain. Their capacity to take on challenges head-on, come up with solutions, and motivate others has a knock-on effect that goes well beyond their immediate circle of influence. Their successes are evidence of the transformational power of accepting challenges and the strength of having an optimistic outlook. Great people are aware that whining about an issue won't make it go away. Rather than moping about the gloom, they decide to do something about it, like light a candle. They understand that change and advancement can only come about with proactive participation and a dedication to problem solving. They represent a proactive approach to difficulties by changing their emphasis from complaints to action. Adopting the maxim, "to light a candle is better than cursing the darkness," shows that a person wants to change the world for the better. Instead of letting negativity consume them, they focus their efforts and energies on projects that result in advancement and change. They know that little deeds of generosity, creativity, and advocacy added together can have a big, long-lasting effect. Great people accept accountability for their situation and acknowledge their ability to affect change. Instead of waiting for someone else to take care of the difficulties they encounter, they take charge of the situation and look for opportunities to change it. They recognize that they are active agents of change rather than helpless victims of their circumstances. Adopting the phrase demonstrates a dedication to looking for ideas and answers. Great people recognize that obstacles present chances for innovation and problem solving. Rather than accepting things as they are, they actively search for novel concepts, methods, and tools that can solve the fundamental problems. Their quest for answers pushes them to venture into unknown waters and confront pre-existing boundaries. The proverb, "To light a candle is better than cursing the darkness," is embraced by great people, and they encourage others to follow suit. They show the transforming potential of taking the initiative and having a positive impact through their actions. Others are inspired by their example to venture outside of their comfort zones, conquer personal obstacles, and have a positive impact on the future. They drive a wave of positive change and generate a spirit of empowerment among everybody. Great people cultivate hope and resiliency by opting to light a candle rather than curse the gloom. They are aware that despite obstacles that appear insurmountable, change is achievable. Their deeds and demeanor encourage others to see the value of teamwork and foster an optimistic outlook that drives tenacity and resolve. The eternal impact of great people who live by the maxim, "To light a candle is better than cursing the darkness," is evident. Future generations can draw inspiration from their deeds and accomplishments. Their commitment to changing the world for the better has an effect that lasts well beyond their own lives and shapes it for years to come. Owning and being accountable for one's dreams and goals is the first step towards accepting responsibility for them. Great people understand that they are in charge of their own lives and that their choices and actions will determine whether or not their aspirations come true. They don't wait on outside events or depend on other people to clear their path. Rather, they assume responsibility for their aspirations and hold themselves accountable for doing the required actions to make those goals come true. Great people are aware of the importance of having well-defined objectives. They break down their vision of what they want to accomplish into manageable goals. They establish a road map that directs their decisions and actions by identifying their aims. They are able to track their progress, make the required corrections, and maintain focus on their intended goals because of this clarity. Assuming accountability for one's aspirations necessitates meticulous preparation and conscientious implementation. Outstanding people create strategic plans that specify the actions and materials needed to accomplish their goals. They set deadlines, prioritize their work, and manage their time and energy well. They go on and overcome obstacles by means of methodical execution. Great people are aware that achieving their objectives and dreams is not always easy. Rather than considering challenges as insurmountable impediments, they perceive them as chances for development and education. They take on obstacles with adaptation, resilience, and a problem-solving mentality. Setbacks don't stop them, instead, they come up with innovative solutions and keep going until they get the results they want. It takes initiative to accept accountability for one's aspirations and objectives. Proactively seeking chances, forming connections, and gaining the skills and knowledge needed to advance, great people do these things. They actively look for ways to get closer to their goals rather than waiting for approval or depending on good fortune. They generate momentum and open doors by taking the initiative, which helps them achieve their goals. Great people understand that achieving their objectives and dreams requires constant learning and development. They continuously improve their knowledge and abilities, pursuing both professional and personal growth. They welcome criticism and comments as chances to get better. They boost their chances of success and adjust to the constantly changing needs of their endeavors by making investments in their personal growth. Reliability for aspirations and objectives necessitates acknowledging and appreciating accomplishments along the path. Great people recognize and value their accomplishments, no matter how little. Acknowledging successes gives a sense of accomplishment, motivation, and morale boosts. They stay motivated and keep up the momentum needed to accomplish their ultimate goals by acknowledging and appreciating their accomplishments.